Hey everybody, I'm here with EquinoxDoodles, and we're going to be playing some Rivals and just having a conversation talking about just general workshop stuff and more so their involvement with workshop. In case, well actually, let me have you introduce yourself, because I know, well obviously you know yourself well.
I feel like I do. Hello, I'm EquinoxDoodles. I like to introduce myself as the guy that made Kris in Rivals because that's what everyone knows me as. I was here since the beginning of Workshop, and I think I posted around I think Kris was finished in a month after or so Workshop was done, or at least was in beta. And ever since then, I'm now joined with Team Rose Petals, and I've had an involvement with the Workshop community as a whole. You might have seen me at Top 8 commentating for Frostbite Workshop bracket, and outside of that you might have seen me commentate a few of the weeklies that happen in the Workshop extended Discord.
Now let's hop into a game. I'm just gonna be playing Kris. I'll have some questions on him in a bit, but I'm just gonna start with some more general stuff and then branch into the timeline of what you did chronologically, and then just end off with some interesting extra stuff.
Alright, works for me.
So while I'm selecting Kris here, what exactly got you into just Rivals in general?
So, this is a really funny story actually. So, back when, I think it was, I want to say 9th grade, me and my friend Logan were in computer programming class. And our first instinct wasn't, oh, let's do programming, now that we're done so we can learn more. It was, hey, let's go onto some site and download illegal copies of games. So we ended up finding Rivals of Aether. I think I found it through the Game Grumps, and I was really enjoying the idea of doing a new platform fighter. Or maybe it was Alphared, I don't know. It was a YouTuber who brought it to my attention, and because of that, I decided to actually look more into it. And back then, I was actually playing on keyboard, so. That was a fun experience, but we just played pretty much illegal copies of Rival, and eventually I got it on sale, and I was like, all right, so me and my friend can now officially play Rivals in a legal manner.
Yeah.
And by then I was playing on a DualShock.
Now that we have an idea of just how you got involved with this game, what exactly got you into what made you go, yes, I want to make a Workshop character?
Well, I think at the time I was more so focused on actually because I think it was just, I really liked Rivals, and by the time Workshop came out, it was all the DLC's done, no more characters, but this was a chance for me to make my own characters, so that's what I did.
Why Kris of all characters?
Yeah, it was a mix of Deltarune was fresh in my mind. Kris was also a very simple sprite, and I tried to replicate the Deltarune art style within Kris's sprite, for better and for worse.
You didn't really have too much experience with pixel art or programming, so how was dealing with that when you were making Kris? How did that work out?
I've had coding experience, but not anything in GML.
Yeah.
But pixel art was something I want to say I was really new at, simply because I didn't have experience going in similar to Sprite Star or Wish Dream, people that have actual investment into this sort of talent. And so I want to say the earliest thing that I did with pixel art, which I don't really count as pixel art, was I would mash up Pokemon sprites together and I would make my own Pokemon from them. So I'd open up good old MS Paint, because this is on Windows Vista, mind you. So I would open up MS Paint and I would just take GBA sprites of Pokemon and I'd mish them together and make my own. But I mean, it really helps having some background in animation and in art in general, just to actually make Kris into the character that they are now.
Yeah. So from what I can tell, probably your favorite part of making Kris was just seeing the reception to the character and just people being excited for them. Was there anything that you absolutely hated about making this character?
The fact that I'm always entirely linked to him. That is my reputation now. And that is a very scary thing to think about. Because I feel like Kris is now kind of in the nostalgic era where like people look back at him and they're like, yeah, that was cool. But deep down, I think there's a lot of things that I could have made better with the character, including just general coding stuff, animation, moveset design. Like, there's a lot of things that I know I can change.
But yeah, I mean, personally, I do think that for the time, especially, the character did turn out super well, especially compared to the other relative stuff.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, the perfect timing of me just getting this, my Kris just dying there. Are there any final thoughts you have on Kris that you want to share before we move on, or?
Yeah, I think I get this question. I feel like I get this question a bit, and that's why isn't there a Kris 2? And my general thoughts have always been, I've kind of always been proud of Kris. Like, even when I'm like, I don't want that to be my entire legacy on the workshop, but when people tell me, or, ask me when Kris 2 is gonna happen, because compared to, like, the stuff in Curated now, Kris looks like spoiled milk. And my general answer has always been the same, and that is, I really don't want to, like, touch the building blocks that helped me become the creator I am today.
Yeah, that does make sense. That, Kris was a starting point, and it's good to have that there to see, where you came from there. And, from there you made this character, who is awesome.
Penny?
So, yeah.
Yeah, I think Penny was weird. Penny had a long, weird history of just being a character that I made. Well, it wasn't just me. There was a lot of Rose Petals and whatever happened with that. And we have a lot of stuff to talk about with Rose Petals, let me tell you.
Yeah.
But there was before Penny, there was other projects I really wanted to do, and one of those was teased in the Kris trailer on YouTube, and that was Master Chief.
Oh, yeah.
So before that, there were 4 other characters I was planning on making, 3 of which I actually had, like, a design or something that I could go off of. And that was Master Chief, Lyn from Fire Emblem, who is going to be more like the PM Lyn. And last but certainly not least was a new OC called Cecil, who was essentially going to be a mix of Robin and Ganondorf.
Oh, yeah, I feel like I vaguely remember seeing that character.
Yeah, he was a goat with a book. That's all I remember it being.
Yeah, I don't even know if I
he
saw.
Was fun.
I don't even know if I ever saw the sprite for them. I just remember the name.
Okay. And before we get to Penny, actually, sorry, one more thing I have to forget is the team that helped create Penny was originally supposed to be making 2B, and that got canceled due to reasons. Yeah,
I kind of left that out because I figured you didn't want to mention that. So
no, I feel like it's important to talk about purely because the direction that Penny went in was largely in part due to the team that I was working with. Not so much Ruby and Hinata, who are great people, love them dearly. It was more so Pixel, and if it wasn't for Pixel, we wouldn't have Pubby, we would have Kitty. From there, things just started becoming a little different, because I forgot that she was a cat, and then I was like, yeah, she's a fox now. And Pixel said that she was not happy with the fact that Penny was, a subspecies of dog, and not just a normal dog. And because at the time I had a thing for Pixel, I decided to change Penny's species to be just a normal dog. And I think that was a really good decision in the long run because of the running joke of Pubby.
Yeah.
So that was something that I think was probably a good decision in the long run.
Yeah.
And then in terms of like design of like the moveset and stuff, it was I really liked there were like 3 characters I really liked in PM, and that was Lucario, Lucas, and Lyn. And obviously Lucario was the main inspiration for Penny because of the magic system. The only thing that was left out was the super moves because I didn't feel like animating them. But that was largely kind of how Penny became the thing. I was just like, I want this character, and Ruby and Hinata supported me 100%. And maybe it made things a lot easier.
Yeah, this is really working out because this keeps segueing right into my next question, which is like, obviously Kris was a solo project, and Penny was made with Rose Petals, of course. Did anything, were there any like major differences when you were working as part of the team?
I only did the character design and like some of the sprite work and some of the coding. The moveset was all Hinata and Ruby. They were the people that wanted like a certain move a certain way, and then I would pitch in with like, you know, what I think would work if it was a substitute, if I needed to. And but it was largely, it was kind of all this, it was all their part. Like, Penny would not be the character they are today if it wasn't for those two.
I definitely do think that it paid off, because this character is sick, and I will still swear by that. Obviously, people who have seen the Codex have seen that there's another character, Forza. Is there any like thing of where they came from, and do you think we'll ever see more of them?
So Forza's not our character. They actually belong to Wishdream, and originally Penny was gonna have a girlfriend named Nicole to play off the money pun, but that character was also created by Pixel. But Forza just had such a better dynamic with Penny that we decided to work with it. So I contacted Wish saying, you know, hey, can we do this? And, you know, what would his voice sound like? And they were very, very helpful in that regard as to how to make things work. And while I personally can't say if Forza will ever become a workshop character, I'm glad that people really like him as a character, because I want to say that he's actually voiced by like at least a professional grade voice actor.
Alright, so just moving on to just more Penny development. What were your what were your favorite and least favorite moments of making Penny?
I think my favorite moment was seeing the general response. I respond to positivity. So when people were very excited for those Penny codex, I was very excited about it too. I think the big excitement was actually getting off the ground and not working on 2B.
Were there any moments that you're like, okay, this is frustrating?
It was definitely trying to finish Penny. I have a lot of fun with attacks, and I know that now, but doing like cleaning up attacks the way that I used to do it was a huge procedure, and with Penny's sprite, it was a pain in the ass to do everything together.
All right, I guess the other question, just because you kind of mentioned this, Penny 2, has there been too much, like, what inspired you to be like, yes, I want to make Penny 2, and how much has gone into that currently, if you want to talk about that?
I can share a little about it. The stuff that's like already kind of public is like it's the mine, and I think I posted about the wall before, but I probably didn't.
I think you did.
Yeah, but so the reason that I really wanted to do Penny 2.0 was, one, the sprite, I really wanted to retouch that, and two, I wasn't really happy with the main mechanic, and I wanted to make it more Rivals-y, you know? So
yeah.
In my head, I was like, alright, well, she's a bounty hunter, like, she's a mercenary, so we might as well lean into that a little bit more. So we kind of looked at Snake for inspiration, and things just started to kind of go from there. One of the main differences is, of course, they have Nikita, or not, is that Nikita? The C4. They have the C4. But they also have a new F special, which is a wall that they can place, which doesn't affect you if you're like not in hit stun. So you can like knock people into it, and if they have a mine stuck to them, they get like wall stuck. They get a wall splatter on them. So you can like use that for follow-ups, because I still want them to be a slow character, or at least a slower character.
That is going to be really cool. Yeah. So I guess some questions on Saffron now, just a couple. I know Saffron is like officially licensed. How did that end up happening?
So we were kind of in the talks for a while of like, we wanted to do a third-party character. We wanted to do a character that we could partner up with and be like, yeah, look at our thing, and have that on our resume. That's what we really wanted. And there was a lot of characters that we had going through before Saffron came in. But when Saffron was like, when we finally got the option to, I was like, because I made a workshop character for One Step from Eden, which is Ashley. But I was like, hey, you know, Eden Dev, can I make this happen? And he's like, yeah, that's fine with me. So we just kind of rolled with it, and I was like, hey, I got the approval, and Hinata was celebrating because she's a big fan of One Step from Eden.
Yeah.
And Ruby had no idea what One Step from Eden was, so that was a fun experience.
Obviously, Saffron has a lot of references to her game. What's your favorite move that Saffron has?
Well, I have two, because one of them is unfortunately cut, and that was the time slow.
Oh yeah.
But my favorite move that she has is her up air, which is the 3 frost crystal status effect that you have in One Step from Eden. So the thing that we really wanted to do with that and make it like really cool was if you hit all the ice sweet spots, you'd get additional damage, just like the actual status effect in One Step from Eden. So that's what we did, and it's always been my favorite move.
Just to throw this in here, the plug. Saffron is still slated for like early this year, right?
That's the plan. We really don't have a deadline, but the plan was that it was supposed to be at the latest the same release date as One Step from Eden, which is in March. I think it's March 20th. That was our plan, but we kind of expanded it because of all the projects that we're doing to just kind of be whenever. So, but the plan is still to have them release in March, and we're gonna see what we can do in terms of releasing her, because we want to make it a kind of a big deal.
Yeah. Speaking of those other projects, though, obviously you teased one in particular today. But are there any any of your other projects that you have details you'd like to share about? Because I know there's not been as much info on anything else.
Yeah. Do you have are you actually subscribed to the stage?
I am. If you want to show it off.
Yeah. Give me 1 second. Actually, I'm gonna update it real quick.
Okay.
So this is Wiley Castle. Oh, I didn't update. So there will be character support for it. It will take a while to actually get it.
Gotcha.
But we have the moving platforms that come in, and they're sort of random. They have a pattern to them, but we tried to make it kind of fun and random at the same time. There's no Yellow Devil, thankfully, because I'm not coding a boss into a normal stage.
For a minute I thought that's what you were hinting at, but
no, there is no Yellow Devil.
Well, a lot of people definitely don't like the stage in Smash because of the Yellow Devil, so it's probably a blessing he's not here.
Yeah, I mean, this is the Aether version with the moving platforms. In the basic version, there's just 2 platforms on the sides, so you won't have to ever worry about the Yellow Devil.
Yeah.
Even if you want to play on the fun version. But yeah, there will be character support. You'll probably see that in the trailer for the stage. I think I have I want to say 4 or 5 trailers going to be in the blueprints.
Alright.
Including the stage, and then the really overpowered Cursed Ori skin that I made. And then the other 2 projects, alongside a joke reveal that I teamed up with Sakamoto to work on.
Oh, that'll be interesting.
I'm not sure if this is a question, but I mentioned it plenty of times to probably make sense of what other characters we had considered for instead of Saffron. And the main runner-up for that, if only things worked out, would have been Hat Kid.
Oh yeah, that would have been cool.
We Ruby is friends with a writer for Gears for Breakfast. So we asked them, and they said ask ask her boss, and we did, and we just never got back. We never got back. He never got back to us. So we decided to hold off on Hat Kid until, the one day that we'll be able to do it.
Yeah. For people who are new to Workshop, who want to get in and start making a character, what advice would you give to them?
So I have a few advice. I was thinking about this on my ride home from work. One is don't worry about your sprites looking bad, because Chris's sprite looks kind of dog crap now, for me, because that was the first character I made, but I also grew as a creator. So don't worry about your sprite being bad at first. Worry more about the characters working and having a fun gameplay. That's what people are gonna really want to stick around for. My other advice to you is to, if you want to make a Workshop character, start small. Don't go for the big stuff just yet. I want to say my last advice to you is don't be afraid to ask for help. And even if you don't get any, don't let that stop you from doing stuff. Things can get replaced, things can get changed. It's not the end-all be-all. What you need to worry about is making sure that people have fun playing your character and that you have a good time making your character.
So I guess from there, moving on, outside of Workshop, obviously you do a lot of Workshop stuff, but are there any other big projects you're working on outside of just making Workshop characters?
There is the Everest Ireless webcomic that I talked about before. That is actually having progress made on it, which is kind of exciting and kind of terrifying at the same time, because this is my first time properly making a comic, but I've done comics before. This is the first time I'm sitting down and making sure things are actually correct, because I want to make sure that this is if you look at this and you look at the Rivals lore, this should connect up and be oh, I can read this and feel this is part of the lore of Rivals of Aether, even if it might not be canonically. Outside of that, Workshop characters, I'm doing it's sort of a tribute to Melee webcomic, webtoon pitch called The Year is 20XX, and I'm still kind of in the early progress of that. I have another webcomic I'm also working on that. I have a lot of webcomics, but I've also been wanting to make more videos and talk more about Workshop, because I feel I come from a place of authority on when I'm talking about Workshop, because I've been here a while, but yeah, there's certainly a lot of stuff that I would like to do in the future based on Workshop, because I still want to support the scene and I want to support my favorite game. It's just I don't really have a lot of time to do it because I'm working on 6 characters.
Outside, I guess, where can people find you, find what you're up to?
I mostly post on Twitter. That's where I usually ramble and make dumb, stupid tweets. You can find that at EquinoxDoodles. You can also get from there I think it's at Rose Petal Dev for our Rose Petal updates whenever we do that, which are very rare and sparse, but we still do them.
Alright, and then I guess before we wrap this up, do you have anything else you want to add or like to talk about? Or
yeah, so I get this is the question I also get a lot. Down special makes you heavier and also increases your attack.